Hey guys, Rob Shoecraft here with 3 Storm Fitness. Here today to talk about my Black Widow steel platforms, rack platforms. Really solid. Yet again, a great product from Black Widow. Dean is a master welder. Not that I know anything about welding at all. I just read a lot of comments and I agree. So far, nothing's broken. Everything's been just as solid as it was the day I got it. I got a lot of his equipment now. So obviously, I'm a fan of it. Coming right out. These are super simple. They're very heavy, but they're super simple. They just mount the same way your J-hooks do in your rack. So you just let Dean know if you want one of these. You let him know what size your holes are. I just told him I had a Rogue R4 power rack, and he fitted it. Rogue R4 with the 2x3. You can get if you have like 3x3, regardless of whether it's Rogue or not. They can make the platforms for you. But anyways, the main use for this is for, or at least the main advertised use for this is for belt squats. And I'll show you a demo here in a second. Nothing impressive, but a demo nevertheless, just to give you an idea what I'm talking about. But belt squats, I have a lot of people doing belt squats. Don't necessarily want to load their back up, or I want to give them a break. Same for myself. I love working them into my routine. And these are great because if you've ever done belt squats just on the floor, even with like a landmine or something, you hit the ground. So you have to kind of stay up on platforms. So you can either stack a bunch of 45s or get some clever plyo boxes. I mean, there's all sorts of ways to do it if you don't have a belt squat machine, obviously. But it's kind of a pain in the butt. These are great because you just mount to the height you want. You can tuck them away when you're done with them. Other than being heavy, they're pretty portable. I mean, they're not that heavy. I don't know what the weight is, but I mean, this is 11 gauge steel, 12 by 12 inches, 1 square foot. This is 1.5 inches thick right here. So I don't know how good you are at metal math. It weighs about that much when you factor all that in the equation. So let me show you. Now, you can do a lot more with them than belt squats. By the way, these are $285 for the pair, which is quite expensive. But I'm getting my money's worth. No regrets. I was very reluctant to buy them because that price kind of shocked me a little bit for some platforms. But again, as a trainer who has a lot of people using belt squats, I really can't think of a better way. They're perfect. So you find the hole you want. I usually go about the 6th one up for most people. Now, a couple things to consider here. Depending on the height of your rack, you may have a pull-up bar up here. Almost all of them do. My shorter clients don't have any problem with this. They don't hit their head. I hit my head the first time. I wasn't thinking. I was all excited. I got it out of the box. Wanted to do some belt squats and smack my head on the pull-up bar. Watch your head. Wear a helmet or something, or have a spotter. Be smarter than me. Okay, this is your warning. So when you're up here, so a couple things to consider. These are, I don't know if you want to call these shortcomings. They're just, we'll call them limitations. That's fair to say. First of all, you can't really do narrow squats on this. You got a foot out to work with. I have a kind of a wide squat anyway, so it's no problem. But if you wanted to work on narrow stuff, you'd have a little bit of a problem. To the point of that's really just a limitation of belt squats in general, because no matter how wide these things go, you're always going to have to deal with the plates. And so that's the other limitation. That's a good segue there. Let's see if I'm wide enough to sit on this. No. 35s are the only plates that I could get on there. Unless you have like really narrow specialized 45s or something like that. 35s are the only plates because you can't get a 45 through that gap right there. At least maybe there's a way to do it. I haven't figured it out. Fortunately, I'm not that strong. Neither are a lot of my clients. I mean, you could fit, right now you could do all sorts of things. I got a Spud Ink, the heck do they call these things? Basically, you stack the weights on here. It's flexible, heavy duty nylon. I got a chain attached to it. That's another story. But that is my Black Widow swing bar that I have set up right now with the plates on it. I have it without the handle. So without the handle, which adds a few inches. Here's the handle, which is sweet for swings, by the way. Our kettlebell swing substitute, super heavy. Without the handle, you could fit, I don't have this many, but you could probably fit 10 35s on there. So we're talking 350. I bet you might be able to fit 12 on there. So what's the math? You're going over 400 pounds there. So 400-pound belt squat. So that kind of brings me to the next point. So that's plenty of weight for the average person. If you're getting in more than that, you're probably working out at a gym that has a legitimate belt squat machine. Plus, you can always have bands and stuff. I'm not going to talk too much more about that. Folks who watch these videos probably aren't belt squatting over 400 for reps, very often anyway. So the other concern would be, this is coming. I'm no physicist, but this is coming a foot out. How secure are these things? Well, I've put over 300 pounds in here. I'm about 250. By the way, I'm about 6'4" for anybody considering the pull-up bar with shoes on. I'm about 250, so we're looking at, let's just say I've had 600 pounds on these things, and they may bow just a little bit, but it's not going anywhere. I've never felt concerned for my safety or any of my clients in terms of this thing caving in and falling. They're not going anywhere. I don't know about the limit. There are no posted limitations that I could find as far as weight goes, but I do know that the J hooks that you could buy with the R4, Rome J hooks for a 2x3 rig, I believe hold 1,000 pounds each. So as far as the limitations, purely speaking, of the integrity of the holes themselves, feel free to correct me. I don't really care if I'm wrong, but I'm just spitballing a little bit. 2,000 pounds. So again, no one has that problem. Trust them, they're fine, they're not going anywhere. So, we're talking belt squats. Let me show you this real quick. This is a Spud hip belt. I'll do a separate review on that. It's made specifically for belt squats, and it's worth the 75 bucks. That's another review though. So I usually step up. If you're not tall enough to reach the pull-up bar, that's ideal for me. It's a little easier. You can just grab a hold of this. You can have somebody help you into place. You can put a bar, rack a bar right here and do that. There's all sorts of ways to get into position. But you step up on them. Again, I like to grab a pull-up bar, let it stop swinging, kind of find your place. Now we're dealing with 35 and a few 20. I think I got like 115 pounds on here right now. You drop down, do your squat. You can go super deep, come up. Well, obviously you come up. You guys know how to squat. Again, watch your head. And I usually just kind of swing it into place. Put it down, step back. Phenomenal exercise. Again, load your legs up to your heart's delight. Go A to G, or A to steel, or whatever, A to S, and without loading your back up. So, just a couple more things I want to talk about. Those are the belt squats. You could use these for all sorts of other things as well. So, I have people pretty much think of anything that you would use a box for. So you could do front elevated lunges for folks with kind of bad knees. Just put it down a little lower. You can't go too low on it because to add extra support to get this extra piece down here, so it will cling down. You can't go super low, but let's just consider that. But you can get pretty low. I think down to the fourth hole, put it in place. So yeah, we can go front elevated lunges. You could do, let's say if you have maybe a client who is older or perhaps has some mobility issues, or maybe they're just new to fitness in general, or even yourself, if you want to do some sort of variation of squat to box, you can start it up high, and if these are west side holes here, so you got 1 inch spacings, you can kind of, as they get more comfortable, get lower and lower and lower and lower. That's really nice. I will say the edges are can be a little sharp, so if somebody's getting tired, they may kind of snag themselves. So I'll use like a yoga mat, put that on it, just to kind of cover up those edges. What else can you do? If you're training for, if you're trying to get like a 1-arm push-up, and you're doing progressions, that's a great way to do it. Put your arm on here, hand on here, lower yourself down, come back up, get lower and lower and lower to the ground. Great way to use these increments here. Same with push-ups, although I prefer doing barbell push-ups just because it translates real well to the bench press. You can do the same methodology with push-ups on your palms or dips, I guess. I've never done that, but you could do that. I wouldn't do box jumps with them. I'm not saying you can't. I did do them just to see. It's just a little sketchy. You have to have kind of a lot of precision for it, and plus you hit your head. I wouldn't recommend it. But step ups, you can do step ups with them. You can also, and this is the last one. I'll stop talking. You could do. They can make decent. If you're real close to your training partner, and I'll get to that in a second. They make decent spotting platforms for like incline bench press. So if I get somebody squatting on the inside there, I can set those up, get above them. Again, you gotta watch your head for the pull-up bar. And because of where they sit inside the squat rack, things kind of get a little crotchy. So hence the reason for knowing your workout partner very well. And taking baths and that sort of thing. Fantastic, again, 285, Black Widow training, no regrets, very good purchase. I'll talk more about the Spud bar, not Spud bar, that's another great workout. The Spud belt, and yeah, we'll go from there. Thanks a lot, Rob Shoecraft, 3 Star Fitness. Please subscribe to my videos if you haven't. Have a great day.